I was looking in the mirror to put some iodine on because I do that at night sometimes, just kind of, cleanse my face a bit. And I noticed something different. I said, "Oh, that wasn't there a few days ago." And I don't look in my I don't look in the mirror unless I have to put something on my face. So I was like, "Oh, that wasn't there a few days ago. It's just different." But it wasn't something that was like so like profound at first. At first, it was just this one thing, and then it spiraled into something else, to an actual shifting thing that happened. I told you I'd give an update if I shifted even just partially. So, but first we're going to start out with, what I had noticed. This lighting, you can't see it because it's still to the point where, I'm not the bearded lady, but in certain light you can really see that really hairy facial hair, and that I've been trying to shift my gender as well as my, into this from human to animal. It's also from, feminine to masculine, because I was born as an it kind of hermaphrodite, I guess. And my family had forced me to be basically feminine. They even gave me things that substantially, stunted my growth and things. So, and just overall made me appear more feminine. So I just want to be me, because my spirit is masculine, and so I've been working on that too. And so when I see the tiny shift in my shoulders a little wider, my overall face, it looks a little different, or something like that, I notice it probably before anyone else does, because it's your own body. But it's not ever one thing by itself. It's not been so profound that I say, "Oh wow, this is happening fast." So it's kind of like a very slow progression, and it doesn't really sink in until you get enough of those things to change, right? And enough things start to change. So I was seeing just how thick the facial hair was, and again, you can't really see because of the, you'd scare you half to death if I iodine face, showed you. I mean, I guess I could show you, but it's even this lighting. It's bad to show. It only really, it's fine enough that you need certain lighting for. Let me see if I can. I don't know. Would you be freaked out to see an orange face? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's going to freak a lot of people out. It's so minute that it's almost just like a little shadow. I mean, you really can't. So, like I said, it started out something that was just like, oh, that's just slightly different, And then it really hit me that, okay, enough things are changing between physically and just the kind of, differences that I've noticed in physiology, which is two separate things. I've talked about it in other vlogs, earlier vlogs, but just enough things are shifting between this and even the animal side. I've got some of my senses have become even more heightened. It's just things that maybe not as much as an animal, but it's things that I like I didn't used to be able to see that well in the dark, and now it's like I can see everything in just a sliver of a tiny crescent sliver, or if there's enough stars in the sky. Sometimes it just hits you all at once, and I thought, okay, this is really starting to happen, and then eventually I can't turn back, and eventually I'm not even going to be able to go out in public, because some things you can hide, right? Some things you can't. Maybe I can wear a hat, I don't know. But I've got, and this is not something that no one can see that. No one can see that. But I don't know. Okay, can you? Can you see that? Those two things right there. Can you really? you can barely see it, but it still looks normal, not in the normal, and it will be for quite a while. But like I said, part of my half of me, or should I say, one of my thirds in the. It's complicated. Our shifter forms aren't always, you know, one species, and mine is a mixture of 3 different species. There's wolf, there's fawn, there's dragon. So I have the goat horns of a fawn, and I've been able, the last few days, I've been able to feel like, you know, where have you ever seen a goat skull and there's a little, right there it meets, and so I can feel where it meets, and then if I trace my fingers, there's what feels like, it used to be there, it didn't used to be there, so I know it's not part of my natural skull, where something's protruding, but it's not like going to be obvious for a very long time. So that's another thing that anyway, and I got into an argument with myself when I was looking in the mirror saying, you know, okay, some of this stuff is starting to be obvious, you know, what are you going to do? And, you know, if someone notices, and I said, I don't fucking care. You know, I started arguing with myself. I said, I don't fucking care. I deserve to be me. After this long, I fucking deserve to be me. And I actually got really fucking mad at myself. And just at the idea in general that I don't deserve, that I have not been able to be me for that long, and I deserve to be me. You know, I just felt so robbed. You know, my family, where my teeth were just ever so slightly more sharper than normal, and yet they wanted to file them down. And when they filed them down, they took a lot of the enamel away, and now that caused cavities. And you know, it's like I have to regrow my teeth, you know, which I was told I could do, but still, it's just, honestly, if I hadn't even been told that by a clairvoyant, he told me that before I knew fuck. He told me that before I knew anything. But you know, the stories that I tell about Walking Crow, they're worth hearing. But anyway, moving on. As I got angry, I started to see the true colour of my eyes come back. Now, the reason why my evil family hated me from day one is because they realised I wasn't normal. Against this decision of my spirit guardians, against their advice, I did not shift my eyes back to an acceptable, you know, colour. The true colour of my eyes is red with a dark greyish, blackish outer edge. That's the colour of my irises. And I had to shift it to just a dull grey. And a couple of people saw it before I shifted back, because I hesitated. I didn't want to be anything other than what I was. And I actually had to do a soul retrieval type thing. It's like a past life regression, except for you're remembering this life, when you're typically too young to remember. So I had to do that to even remember this at all. But it was something that in the end made them see me, literally they call me Devil Child, which you know, try to get rid of me ever since. And that's with the entire abuse started with seeing that I was different. And that's why I hid what I was so wellly that I hid it from myself. And I got so angry. I felt robbed of who I was for so fucking long, you know. And I was looking at my teeth, too at the same time, which got me even more angry. My filed down teeth. And I just lost it. I just lost it. And over and over again inside my head, I didn't say it aloud, but inside my head I just kept saying over and over, I deserve to be me. I deserve to fucking be, you know, and who I really am. And that thought over and over again, I deserve to be. It only took a few remnants of that. My mind got stuck there. And I just lost it. All of a sudden, all the hesitation went away and the anger, the rage took over. And just a very small smidgen of colour you could see in both my eyes. One eye was actually had one spot that I could actually feel. I could feel it shifting. There's one spot particular that got a darker, deeper, almost blood red colour. And, you know, it started to actually change colour, but it didn't do it fully. It just did it a little bit. That was enough for me to be like, whoa, you know, like, am I seeing what I'm really seeing? Because I tried to do that on purpose, like many times, too many times to count, and nothing happened. I had it happen once when I was a child on accident, and now I've had it happen again on accident just right now. And, you know, I told you I'd update anything, even if it was minuscule, so I know it's not super exciting, but for me it is, because I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to shift my eyes, you know, the colour of my eyes for a long time. I've been working on shifting my eyes in other ways. I can see stuff in the dark that I didn't used to be able to see. I always could see better than most people, but in the dark, but nothing like that. You know, right now, if there's just a tiny sliver of a crescent, or if it's enough stars in the sky, I can walk out in the middle of the woods and see everything. You know, so it's definitely, my senses, my physiology's changed, that sort of thing's changed, but I've not seen something that obvious in a long time, you know, an actual colour in my eyes changing. I've not seen that in a very long time. And only today did I start remembering kind of, you know, what I was told, that, like I said, during a past life regression, if you listen to vlog 9, I talk about this in a little bit more in depth, but basically I was told what I would face in this life. It was an in-between, you know, a past life and right before this life. I was sent through the universe and I was being told kind of, you know, okay, this is what your path is going to be, this is what you're meant to do. And, you know, I was told that through my threefold, which was from another past life, once that ended, that I would be, my spirit would be lost, it would be wounded, and it'd be very difficult for me to actually succeed in what my path is meant to be. Not impossible, just a grand possibility I could fail. And at the end of the day, you know, I was told, you know, it doesn't really matter the percentage, because I was told that at the end of the day, you're the one that chooses. So, you know, it's my choice. It's up to me. This is you know, it's not up to them whether or not I succeed, it's up to me. And so, in my eyes, I'm thinking, I have control over that. Whether or not I like it, I have control over whether or not I succeed. And so, the percentage is meaningless. I just have to choose. You know, I have to face my challenges and not be afraid to, not hesitate. Sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith and trust in things. And this very night, that's what I'd done. In a small way, but still, that's what I'd done. No coincidence, my eyes shift on that same night.